land zones. All you need is 10 land zones per person, and this is what creates the battlefield itself. So the pyramid are made up as row 1 all the way to row 4. This is the place where your AFROCHIBIs will be situated and also where they'll be moving. It's like a game of chess. Number 2, you'll be required to use at least 1 dice. This is what determines the play of the game in terms of attacking your opponent. Number 3, 10 AFROCHIBIs to start the game off. They'll be broken down into different power groups and they'll be placed onto those land zones you've just made. Start with your power 1s, 3 power 2s, 2 power 3s, and 1 power 4. Number 4, you'll also need a cavalry. Cavalries are made up as power 1, a power 2, and a power 3 AFROCHIBI. Number 5, your deck. Your deck will be filled of either 30 cards, 40 cards, or 50 cards, depending on what type of game you'd like to play. They will consist of tactic cards and remaining AFROCHIBIs that you want to try and bring in the game to implement your strategy. Number 6, your power base. Power base is where you play power cards. They'll be situated on the left-hand side of your battlefield. Number 7, power base entrance. A power base entrance is an icon that you could use, it could be a 2p or anything you would like to use, to be placed on row 3. The aim of the game is to outwit or overpower your opponent to score a total of 20 points. You can do this by defeating your opponent's AFROCHIBIs with your own. For each one you defeat, you gain 1 point. The way to score even more points is by attacking your opponent's life power. This is done by making your way to your opponent's land 1, wiping out whatever might be defending that land zone, and then attacking your opponent directly. Attacking your opponent's life power is done differently to a normal attack. The amount of points gained is determined on what power the AFROCHIBI you're attacking them with is. For example, if you're attacking them with a power 3 AFROCHIBI, then you would gain 3 points. The same goes for if you were attacking them with a devastating power 6 AFROCHIBI, you would get 6 massive points to your tally. Okay, so an AFROCHIBI is a afro-haired chibi character, and they are based on fictional and non-fictional icons in this world. They are also the key element of winning an AFROCHIBI match. So without these champions, you cannot win the game. So I want to go straight into it, starting with this card right here. We're going to go into the layout of an AFROCHIBI card. So top left is your character's name. So this is Diddy Dude. You got your generic attack on the right side. At the top, HP at the bottom. So when it comes to battling, your attack is obviously needs to be greater or equal to your opponent's HP. So yeah, 20 attack, not that great. You'll see in the bottom left their card number, then you've got their rarity, and you've got what type of AFROCHIBI this is, and this is a icon card. As well as that, you'll see an equip slot. Now in the game, you have tactic cards, and one of them are equip cards. And basically, you can equip 1 to this card, okay? So, as well as that, you have the attack roll. Now this determines what you need to get, and for this card's instance, it's a 3 or higher. And the power 1 is to show you that this is a power 1 AFROCHIBI. They're kind of used as the pawns of the game. I will go into full detail in another video. But yeah, so this is your general layout of your AFROCHIBI card. As well as that, I wanted to show you a second exclusive. Bam! This is Dino Bone. And the reason why I want to show you this one is I just wanted to show you, obviously, it's a different background when it comes to the different rarities, and this one is a rare. It's a creature type, card 13, but what I kind of want to show you is the ability. So AFROCHIBIs can also have abilities just like you get in other card games. And yeah, they're all different and they vary. So some might be, pick up an extra card at the start of your turn. Some might be like this one, where you get to bring in another AFROCHIBI by power summon. Today, we're going to be focusing on a certain type of tactic card. Now, tactic cards are what you kind of fill your deck with, as well as the AFROCHIBIs. You have an amazing variety of tactic cards. And one of the main type of tactic cards are known as equip cards. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Equip cards are played from your hand straight to an AFROCHIBI. You can play an equip card at the cost of an energy. When it comes to equipping to an AFROCHIBI, you need to make sure the equip card is face down in a horizontal position and underneath that AFROCHIBI. Something that you need to consider is an equip card must be equipped to an AFROCHIBI that has an equip slot available. Most AFROCHIBIs have one equip slot. You'll find some that will have 2, and you'll even find some that have 0, which means they cannot be equipped at all. So the last thing I need to talk about with the equip cards are a certain type of equip card known as ultimate. Now, an ultimate equip card, you'll find the ultimate symbol on the right hand side. And basically, they are classed as an ultimate move for a certain AFROCHIBIs. Now, I believe there are only 2 AFROCHIBIs with an ultimate equip card. All you simply have to do is equip that one to that specific AFROCHIBI. Land cards bring a unique element to the game, where you can turn your surroundings to help your AFROCHIBIs or to implement your strategy as a whole. A land card can be played on most land zones. At the cost of an energy, you take a land card from your hand and place it on top of a land zone. In the game, you will find certain land cards that only have a specific land zone it can go on, so be sure to read the description of each card. Unless stated on the card, you are allowed to play land cards on top of each other, immediately changing the environment on that land zone. A fantastic type of land card to have in your deck are known as trap cards. As you may have guessed, trap cards trap your opponent in a variety of different ways. All you do, just like any other land card, you place it on top of the land zone, and you also have to place it on top of the AFROCHIBIs on that targeted land zone. This does mean if your AFROCHIBIs are on there, they will be trapped as well. So please bear that in mind whenever you're coming up with your land card strategy. So yeah, before we get started, one thing I want to mention is if you do want to see what each and every card looks like and what they actually do, then please check out my tactics and strategy playlist that you'll find on this channel. Power cards grant you unbelievable strategy opportunities and advantages for your team. From banishing your opponent's cards all the way to improving all of your AFROCHIBI stats. Power cards are different from the other tactic cards because it invites you to think ahead of play. This is due to something called the power base. The power base is the home for your power cards. To play the power card from your hand, you got to place it down into the power base, and then on your next turn, at the cost of an energy, you can play that power card. So here's some power base facts that you'll need to know. You are allowed 4 power cards in your power base at any given time. So remember, if you place your power card in the power base, you are not allowed to release that power straight away. You have to wait for your next turn. Another thing to remember is with your power base, you can have your cards face down and hidden until you release that power. If the card says discard after use, then you can discard. If not, they remain in your power base. And if you do want to get rid of that power card, then it will cost you an energy to do so. In the game, there is another type of power card known as power counters. A power counter is great because it doesn't need to be your turn to use a power counter, as long as you have that card in your power base. The last thing that I need to mention about the power base is your power base is not entirely safe. There are a number of ways that your opponent can destroy your power cards. One of them is your power base entrance. You can find your power base entrance on land 3 on the battlefield. If your opponent manages to make it to your power base entrance, then they can attack your power base directly and they can destroy a card of their choice, whether it's face down or if it's released in the game already. Number 1, starting the game. The first thing you got to do is to roll, and the highest roll will decide who goes first and who goes second. Going first means you get to draw 5 cards at the start of your turn, and you also get to implement your strategy. Choosing to go second means you get a card pickup advantage. You get 6 cards rather than the 5 cards at the start of the game. Both players cannot use abilities from your AFROCHIBIs in the first turn. Number 2, what is an energy? An energy is the cost of most moves in the game. Each player receives 2 energies to use during their turn. Number 3, your turn. Apart from the starting turn, the first thing you must do is draw 1 card from your deck. Afterwards, you are able to do the following moves that do not cost an energy. And they are placing power cards in the power base, using AFROCHIBI's abilities, free playing an AFROCHIBI, or discarding a card from your hand. Now we'll talk about the plays that you can do that will cost you an energy. Moving an AFROCHIBI, attacking with an AFROCHIBI, power summoning, playing a land card, releasing a power card, or rolling for cavalry. Also equipping to an AFROCHIBI. After finishing all your plays, you end your turn by counting the remaining cards in your hand, then declaring your turn to be over. Bear in mind, you are only allowed 10 cards in your hand. If you end your turn with more than 10, then you will have to award your opponent a point and you must get rid of the appropriate amount of cards. Number 4, cavalry. Cavalry are free AFROCHIBIs that are in the game, but not initially. You can bring them in the game by rolling the dice. A power 1 needs to be rolled a 3 or higher. For a power 2 to enter the game, you need a 4 or higher. For a power 3 to enter the game, you need a 5 or higher. If you roll a power 6 on your first energy, you have the choice to use both to get every single one into the game. Number 1, attacking. You can attempt to defeat your opponent's AFROCHIBI by attack rolling. If you miss first time, you may use your second energy to attempt again. If you hit first time, please note that you cannot attack with the same AFROCHIBI, unless stated otherwise on the card. If you hit your opponent, both cards must be revealed. However, if you miss, then both can remain face down. Number 2, retreat roll. Another thing you can do is attempt to roll out of a battle, which allows you to move your AFROCHIBIs to another land zone within radius. You must declare this, then attempt to roll a 4 or higher. Number 3, radius attack. Something else to consider is using AFROCHIBIs with radius attacks. They can attack without being in a battle phase. If you intend to use a radius attack while an enemy is in front of you on the same land zone, you cannot attack past them. Instead, you can attack either side of you and even behind, not to mention attacking head on. If there's no one blocking you, then you have full radius range. Number 4, team combo attack. If you have 2 or more AFROCHIBIs involved in the same battle, you can use both your energies to attempt a combined attack. This is of course determined on the success of your attack rolls. If you manage to achieve this, then you combine all attack stats and match it against your opponent's AFROCHIBI's HP. Number 5, other tactical play. You might decide to do something else when engaged in battle, such as power summon, roll for cavalry, play a land card, equip, or release a power. This game offers a variety of choices, which makes every game extremely fun and extremely compelling. I've been AfroPierre, and I'll see you at the next one, guys. Bye.